Hi, my name is Swati Wag, and this is a short video explaining how to access the library resources and do your research. So this will be where you will go to Benedictine. I have it bookmarked, so you can do it too, but otherwise if you didn't, that's where you would go. Now, once you're in here, how do you get to the library databases? What you need to do is click on this thing here, and under academics, you will see the library is space here. This is the library. This is how you have to get to the library resources. And this part is important because if you don't go through the library portal, which is here, this thing here, you will be signing in with your user ID and password. And all the IP addresses are at the publisher's places where we get our subscriptions from. And so if you do not go through the portal and you try to access something full text, it will tell you to pay. So don't end up paying for something that we've paid for you, okay? So go through the library portal to get to the databases and get to the research that you need. Okay, now information comes in different packets, but for the sciences, the currency is 5 years. So we mostly ask you to go to the databases, which is a collection of all journal literature, okay? And it is indexed in such a way to provide access to you easily through author, title, or subject. And that's what I'll be taking you to. Now, there are a few databases that you will be needing. So I'm going to go step by step through them, and hopefully it will make clear to you what I'm trying to do, okay? So here, scroll down, and then you go to databases. I do not want you to go through books because the information in there will not be current. And for medical or science purposes, which your subject is going to be genetics, it's going to be necessary that you go through here, okay? Thanks. Now I'm going to P for PubMed. This is the premier database of the National Library of Medicine, where you can get the world's literature in medicine. And so it's truly global, and you know what's going on in all corners of the world, okay? So from here, I go down to PubMed, and in here, you are going to go through something called mesh database. In the research guide that I will be showing you, I've already talked about it, so I'm not going to repeat it here. So in here, you put in all the terms that you want to use. The terms that your task is to look for transgenic cows or transgenic milk, and then find out how proteins extracted from transgenic milk is used in creating or manufacturing medicines for genetic diseases. And the question for you is what is the process, how valid it is, and then what are the bodies that govern or laws that are existing to control this. And that is all in the research guide that I'll be walking you through in class 2, okay? Here, so now I'm going to put my first term, which is transgenic milk. If I find it, good, right? If not, I have to look for something else. And then I'm going to put milk and see what I get. I get nothing, right? So and I put just transgenic, see what I get. Okay, I get rats, genes, transgenic, mice, all of this. This is what we want, animals genetically modified, okay? This will be your genome, okay, has been altered. So I'm going to say yes, I'm going to look at it. And you don't want plants, you want only animals. So animals genetically modified, which is the cow that's going to be transgenic, that the process is explained in other places. So here you go. And then I am going to look at and say add to search builder, okay? And then it will come up here. This is the one that I'm going to use. You can restrict it to only major topic, by which you'll get only those specifically under this. I will explain later. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to do that. And then I mentioned in the research guide that, you know, all the words that anybody, the natural language words anybody would come with are mapped to this one subject heading, which is called animals genetically modified, okay? And these are the different terms anybody would be coming with, and these will be all mapped to that one heading, and you don't have to use the terms or in doing your search, okay? So you do just put it as genetically modified, add to search builder, okay? Here it comes, and it's a mesh heading. The next term we want to use is the medicines. What are the medicines that are going to come for it, or how is it, what are the proteins that will be extracted from it? So you look for proteins and see what's there under proteins, okay? And then here is one for proteins. I'm going to use the generic term here because I don't know what kind of proteins we are going to look for, okay? So I'm just going to put this, and I'm going to put an and. That means I want proteins and the genetic animals in here. So I'm going to say add to search builder, and you'll put an and in between because both the concepts should be there. And then you're going to look for pharmaceuticals, right? Because they're medicines. And then I'm going to search pharmaceutical preparations. This is what we can look at. Go play around and see what else is there. But I think it could be biological products, or it could be pharmaceutical preparations for human or veterinary use. That's not what we want. It's used, I mean, we're using the veterinary milk, the genetically modified milk, to make these drugs. So I think I would just go with biological products, okay, and see what happens. And these are the things. Complex substance preparations are derived from organism use. This is what we will use. And these are the methods they're going to use to extract proteins from the cow milk, okay? So again, it's going to be an and. So I'm going to put and then search PubMed. This is where it will take me, okay? And I get 4,301. And then, like, remember I told you it should be 5 years for currency. So I'm going to say in the last 5 years, what has been found out? There's 826. And then we are going to look at some of it and see if this is something that we like. And if I don't, I'm going to think that since we couldn't find a subject heading for transgenic cows or transgenic milk, that means I'm going to have to do a keyword search because there is no subject right now that I can look at. So I'm going to go back to PubMed, and under advanced, I'm going to put all fields. I'm going to put maybe, I don't have the mesh headings, I know for sure. So I'm going to look for keyword or excuse me, and see if there is other term. And I'm going to put in transgenic cows or transgenic milk. Okay, that's what we are interested in from cows. And then I'm going to look for show index, and for transgenic, there's nothing, it tells me there's nothing like that. So I'm going to put, look at one at a time. And say transgenic milk, show titles. There's still one. So this, see, it's still in the infant stages. There's not much you can find on transgenic milk. Then I'm going to put transgenic cows, or just do transgenic and tell me cows. And then show index. Nothing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put transgenic, because I am going to see if I can find something about other animals that were used, like goats and chickens. Even though chickens not milk, but with goats it was milk. So I'm going to see if I can find something and see, go for the next one. The next term is pharmaceuticals, right? Pharmaceuticals. That means drugs made from. So I'm going to add and say show index, that is this much. So I'm going to put OK. And then I'm going to say and I will get transgenic and pharmaceuticals. So I'll say, let's see what we get. So I find very little here, right? So I am now going to go to another database called Web of Science, because I didn't find much in the National Library of Medicine. That happens, okay, very often it happens. But I want to take you to another database from the National Library of Medicine, which is called MEDLINE. And that is where I'm going to take you, MEDLINE Plus, which is for the layperson, okay? And it is health information from the National Library of Medicine. So I'm going to put for genetic diseases, because we are looking for a cure for genetic diseases, right? And they found that the milk from these transgenic cows is useful in preventing genetic diseases. So these are all the genetic diseases that you will find. And from here, I'm going to see if I can find genetic diseases and transgenic milk, okay? And then I'm going to say go. No, this is by clone. This is the only one, because they use clones to produce that milk, okay? So these are not something that you can, cloning livestock. This is a group of research. This is what you're going to be looking at. You know about beef is that quality of yield of the media. Drug production, this is where you will come. Cow, sheep and goats are being genetically engineered. See, this will tell you in brief what it is. So this will give you a little bit of a background information, not more. So we have to look for more information in another database, okay? So I'm going to stop this here and take you to another database later, next time. So let me stop this, and I'm going to say